Welcome back to Just a Girl Talk. For you guys who are new, my name is Janine.
Hi, so I'm Erica from Mommy Planner. You can follow me on Instagram at mom.e.planner. My website is www.mommyplanner.com. All linked on my Instagram. I'm more like out there on my Insta, my IG. So follow me. So a little bit about myself. I'm a mom blogger. I've been married for almost 4 years. I have 3 kids, 2 of my own and a stepson. I don't call him my stepson, so I just say I have 3 kids, so that's just that. I just had a baby. I have in my current role as a mom, I have struggled with some postpartum depression, a little bit of anxiety, relationship stuff. I've been through a lot with my husband, so I'm like an open canvas, an open book. I talk about anything. I am a believer in Jesus Christ, and I have my own clothing line that I've just kind of started with a new dreamwear that just launched in January, or about to launch in January. And yeah, that's me.
And as Erica said, she is like the ultimate mommy of trying to balance this life as a mom and wife. I thought motherhood was like one of the more difficult things to do, but when you add a husband and a blended family to that, it makes it like
the struggle
10 times harder. I don't think that most people understand or I don't even think as women, when you're in or preparing yourself to be a mom and a wife, and you have like this expectation of like, I want to be a mom, I want to be a wife, you really don't know what you're signing up for. And it's not to say that it's like the worst thing ever, but you really have no idea.
Right.
So I wanted, for us to sit down and talk about being a part of a blended family. For those who don't know, I have a stepdaughter. She is 15 years old, and I've been in her life since she was about 4. So it's been a long time, and I think that her being younger when we met has made our relationship a lot easier, because she wasn't 12 meeting this random person and trying to get to know me. So I think that has made my experience a lot easier for the 2 of us, but it wasn't easy. And I think for me, I don't want to say I didn't take my role as like the bonus mom serious until I got married, but it wasn't really like, now it's like, this is like my life now, like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, I wasn't calling her my stepdaughter prior to. I wasn't that person who's like, oh, this is my stepdaughter, and that wasn't married. That wasn't me. And I know some people do that, and I think our lives weren't set up that way. Like, maybe if we were together more, or we were in the same household, it probably would have, but we weren't, so she didn't, I didn't use that language until we got married. I'm not sure that was your...
my stepson is 9 years old. I've been in his life since he was 4. So kind of the same, like if he, like his recollection, I mean, I think he remembers my husband's girlfriend before me a little bit, but I mean, I'm like the only person he will remember when he grows up.
Right.
No, because first of all, my stepson, his name is Chubbs, nickname is Chubbs. He calls me Erica. He doesn't call me mommy or Miss Erica, because I felt like when we were dating, who knows? Like, we might not work out.
Right.
We might not get married. We might get divorced. So I don't want you to have any attachments. I just want it to just be natural.
Right.
And we've always said that. My son calls my husband Big Corey. His name is Corey, so he calls him Big Corey. And we have open conversations about that. His mom, Chubbs' mom, is present in his life, very active. So there's not as if it's an absent parent type of situation. So we've talked about it. Like, we said, you can call me whatever you want. I know his mom at first, when she first met me, she was like, oh, he can call you Miss Erica. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to be called a
like,
Miss.
Please don't call me Miss.
It's like, first of all, I was like young.
Right.
Not even 30. I don't want to be like Miss. So I was just like, it's fine. You just call me Erica. Now, his stepdad, he calls his stepdad by Mr.
Okay.
And I think our kids were old enough to understand. Like, my son told my husband you know, I don't want to call you daddy yet because I have a daddy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that was just it. And it just is what it is. I'm not like hung up on that. Like, to be honest, I'm like completely fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, and if it changes, I feel like at some point for my son, with my husband, I think it will change because he is the active dad in his life.
Right.
My son's dad is locked up, which I've actually never it's told anybody. But his dad is locked up. He's in prison. He'll be there for a while. So even though he sees him and he talks to him, you know, my husband is the one that does homework with him. He's the one that will take him shopping for his first date outfit, or, you know, be there for graduation. So I do feel like, and he's even expressed, you know, some feeling of wanting to call. Now, in conversations with other people, he addresses him as my dad. Like at school, he'll say, "This is my dad and my mom." Like, but when we're in the house, it's Big
still
Corey, and I'm still Erica. And that's, like I said, I feel like it's a slow progression in relationship when you have stepkids. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned as a blended family is that forcing things are never going to make anything happen for you, for the child especially. And just learning to go with it and take it as it comes is like the biggest takeaway for me this year.
So I guess we can start from the beginning of speaking about our experience as the bonus mom, right? So for me, I'll say that my experience as a bonus mom has not been easy. Even up until this point. As I said, I've been in my stepdaughter's life for the past 10, 11 years of her life. I've been the only, you know, woman that she's seen her father with outside of her mom. And I still feel like I don't want to say I don't get credit for that, but I've still it's still been like I'm not the, like I'm don't matter, you know, when it comes to her mother. As if it's been like multiple women, or I've been in and out of her life. You know, for us, our biggest struggle is the relationship that my husband and her mother has created this like tension because of their conflict of co-parenting, which has made it more difficult to have a blended family because they don't get along well at times. So that's just always made like confusion and just confrontation. So I feel like for a long time, when we weren't married, I was just in the middle, like, you know, like that between like, you're spending more time with her, and what about your daughter? And when we would do stuff with her, it's like, well, why do you have to take her with you with your daughter? So it was like I couldn't win. I couldn't win if I was like, I'm there, we're doing family stuff together, and it's like, why are you there? And then when we weren't with his daughter, it was like, why isn't she there? So I feel like it's just been that constant battle over the years of this. The other woman doesn't matter. And after a while, I used to care. Like, I don't care now. Like, I really could care less what she thinks, how she feels about me. But that used to bother me. Like, why do you, like, why? Like, I don't do nothing to you. I'm great at your daughter. Why do you hate me so much? You know? And it took a long time for me to recognize. I don't think I realized it until I had my son, or later on, years later, and I started to piece together, like, maybe it's that threatening feeling of the woman taking my place, or the child liking my more than me. And I think it might be a girl thing as well, because I've always felt like if it was a boy, I thought it would be different, because it's not like a mother-daughter bond. So that was like, for me, it's been that way over the years of just the.
So our stories are a little bit. Mine's is a week. So because I was a single mom and I had a husband, he was not my husband.
Right.
I had a baby daddy, which I don't like to say, but whatever, for the sake of saying it, who was not really in the picture and kind of in and out Camden's whole entire life. I knew what I would have wanted from him is so it's what I gave as a stepmom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so when we first got together as a couple, he didn't ask me, will you be my girlfriend? He asked me, will you be my wife? And from that moment was when we said, okay, so now you need to meet up my kids.
Right.
So when I met his son, it was with the intention of becoming his stepmom.
Right.
And his relationship with his son's mother was amazing. They never, I mean, not to say that she's perfect or he's perfect.
Right.
But they co-parent very well together, and
Good.
they still
That's
do.
good. Yeah.
I mean, except for we have a little bit of an
Yeah.
issue now, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they don't really they don't have any arguments. When I first met, when I first met his son, she was engaged to be married, so she's married. She has a stepdaughter. So to me, in that regard, I felt like this is perfect. Because she got her own. She got her own nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She got another stepkid, so she know what it's like to be on the other side, the receiving side.
Right.
So we should be good.
Yes.
And essentially, it was good. And then as a blogger, I talked about a lot of stuff. Like I started out blogging about being a single mom. And one day she got on like social media and she talked she has no, or I don't know what she does now, but back then she had no platform of any sort. So basically it was just trash talk then. But she talked about basically saying how I made being a single mom seem like it was the hardest thing in the world when being a mom in general is the hardest thing in the world, which I get it, but no, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same. First of all, you have a husband and you have your baby's father, and you. So like, if you need a babysitter, you got it. If you need somebody to be there for your kid, you got it. If he needs his dad, he's there. If he needs his stepdad, he's there. So like, it's not the same. So she did all this back talking about me, and on her Instagram, we had the same, not my friends, but these were my husband's, like my fiance's friends that they're coming to my wedding, they're at my face, they're, I'm getting to know these people, I'm moving to be with these people in this whole new state, and she's just going ham, and I'm just like, this is crazy. And from that moment, like, I became the stepmom who said to myself, I don't want this beef. You know what I mean? Like, this is your son. I'm not trying to fight you for your child. And I don't know if I'm intimidating you because I have a platform or because I'm creating myself to be this mom that people admire. But your son is not going to admire me more than you. It's impossible. Your son you're his mother. Like, it's not, he's gonna love you more than anybody. He's probably gonna love you more than he loves his dad. So like, let's be realistic. But I feel like that has been my thing, is that she puts, and so I'm gonna say this, I don't care. The first time I met her, my husband would kill me, but I'm going to say it anyway. He's not going to watch. When she opened the door, the very first thing she said when I was on her doorstep was, "Oh my God, you're beautiful." So, which I was just like, oh, hi. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like her perception of me is up here. And I'm just a regular person. And I feel like as a person who has a platform, whether it be whatever, social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, your local church assembly, whatever, like, that's what happens. Someone puts you here, but you're really like, I'm right here. So you are perceiving me to be a way, but I'm not trying to be that person.
I agree with that 100% because I think, from my experience, since I'm not, my husband and his baby mom, I call her, whatever.
I get it.
Like, there's a club, I feel like it's a baby mama club, and I don't know who started it, but the club needs to just end. But they're from the same neighborhood.
Got it.
And I'm not. And I'm younger than them as well. I'm 5 years younger than my husband, and I think she might be about 3 years younger than him. But I think for me, with her, I think she doesn't know me. She doesn't know anyone who knows me. She doesn't know anyone. Like, so there was no way for her to figure out who I was. Yeah. You know, so it was always like, I want to know who she is and what did she do, and like just wanting to know so much about me that she didn't know and didn't know anyone close to me. Like, so I think that was another thing that, like you said, that level of putting someone here or perceiving someone that way, and you can't figure out who they are, or to hold something over their head to say that they're not this good person, or she's not as nice as she claims to be, or you know. And I think that was,
man, that is fact.
That was definitely, I feel like that has been the case for us a long time, of wanting to know from her daughter, like, well, what did she do?
Yes, Lord.
Or, you know, well, is she nice to you? Or, you know, because again, if you don't know anything about the person, or know you have nothing to really
go off of.
You know, like I want to believe that you're not this nice person. I want to believe that you're not a good person, or I want to believe all these things. And that I feel like that has been that case of, and like you said, there's that whole thing of like the intimidation of the other woman, or being beautiful, or having a platform. And it doesn't take away nothing from you as the mom.
No,
you know? But
because if anything, I'm trying not even to compete, but I'm trying to get to your level.
Yes.
Not you should be trying to figure out what's up with me.
Right.
Because like, you already won. You know what I'm saying? As far as to the child.
Right.
Like, you are already it. But like, for me, it's like, I'm trying to get to where you are. Your son puts you on a pedestal, and I'm trying to, and not really mimic, because I feel like you have to be and learn. And I think that's the issue too with being, not the issue, but the hardest thing about being a stepmom or a bonus mom is trying to find your own voice within the relationship. Yes. So that's a whole different topic. Yeah. But like, I'm trying to find my own voice within your voice. Like, for me, it's like, and I do this with everything. I do this with my husband, with my friends, with just people in general. I'm trying to match your style. So if, like for my husband, if your style is you want to come home to dinner on the table, then I'm going to match that. That's what I want. That might not be what I want to do, but I'm trying to make you happy. And I'm trying to also make our life smooth. So like, maybe, you know, your thing is, you know, he has to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take the role of, you have to go to bed at 8 o'clock here too. Because I ultimately want him to respect me on the same level as you. I'm just going to do it in a different way. Maybe because I'm the stepmom, I have to do it fun. Like, you know, we're going to go to bed at 8, but before we go to bed, we're going to have popcorn. I don't know, whatever. But like, so that's the part that I feel like doesn't make sense. Like, why are you trying to get on my level in a way, or like trying to compete with me, when all I'm trying to do is meet you where you are and balance this thing out.
And like, work together.
A little back thing about how I feel, or in my relationship. Like I said, they co-parent, and honestly, I'm nothing. And not to sound like I do feel a way about it, but for the most part, I let them handle it, and I just back him up. You know what I mean? Like, now most of the time, like 99% of the time, I disagree. They have different parenting styles that they do with their son or our son, and in our home with our two kids that I parent, that I'm the birth mom to, we do it totally different. And I think my husband is very he's non-confrontational. So he'll just like be like, go with it. Like, she let her make the decision, which I feel like most men do that. So it's fine.
Oh, not my husband. That's why they.
So I wish he was more.
That's why they don't. That's why they don't get along.
And so that's why.
But that's the thing. If he was that way, then
their relationship wouldn't. Then
it would be. It would be peaches and cream.
So exactly. So the thing is that they make their decision, and I just go with what my husband tells me. Now, because I'm the stay-at-home mom, which is where the biggest part of this issue is because like if she called one day and she talked to me, because I'm the stay-at-home mom, so I'm clearly, in her opinion, making the decisions. But I'm a Christian wife, so my husband is the head of our household. and I do whatever he tells me to do.
Right.
I don't make any decisions.
Right.
So now, do we have a relationship where we communicate and we talk and we work things out? Yes.
Right.
But for the most part, if he says it's going to be like this, that's what it's going to be.
Right.
So she called, she talked to me, she told me that she didn't want her son to do X, Y, and Z, and she knows that he's been doing X, Y, and Z. That's because she questions him when he gets home, but whatever.
Right.
So she said that she didn't want him to do it. I said, okay, fine. I gave her my word. I said, I won't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got off the phone with her. My husband turned to me and said, that's dumb. We're not going to do that. This is my house. We're going to do it X. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
I don't have no problem. I don't have no voice in that. So
right.
Y'all have that issue. I'm doing what you tell me because this is your house.
Right.
You and my husband, this, whatever. It's a trickle down effect for me.
Right.
She found out that we continued to do it. She called and cursed me out. Called me all types of B's. Said she was coming over here to put her hands on me. And this whole thing escalated. And first of all, I'm a Christian church girl. Slap me, turn the other cheek. But you slap me on the other side, I'm going to slap you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not this, no, I'm not all super holy roly. Like, I will punch you in the face, okay? It took me a long time to really understand my role. And I don't even call myself a stepmom. I always say I'm a bonus mom. And I say that because I don't have a right.
Right.
That's just the point. I mean, that's a fact. Like, I don't have the right to implement, or I do in my home as far as like the rule is you're not going to eat on the couch. I have those rights.
Right.
But as far as like the decisions that are made as far as his livelihood and what's at stake for him and where he's going to go to school, I don't have those rights.
Right.
So I always say I'm a bonus mom. I'm the mom that's going to take you to do fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the mom that's going to probably correct you when you need to be corrected. But I'm not the mom that's going to be like, like for instance, so they put my stepson into track. To me, stupid. He's not into athletics. He's not athletic at all. It's just not his personality. I've always said he needs to be going to like a tech camp or like something that's science related. So they did this whole thing, and it was like a lie. It took them out of their schedule. I told them I wasn't a part.
Right.
Y'all want to put him into track? I don't think he's gonna like it. Y'all track is extensive. You gotta practice 4 times a week. You are there all day when it's a track meet. Like, it's a lot. And I just had a baby, so I'm like, I'm not doing it. Y'all do it. It's y'all what y'all want to do.
Yeah.
One day into the practice, he's crying. He doesn't want to do it.
You're like, I told you so. When I was first dating my husband, I was in college. I still had 2 more years of college to do. So he was telling me a lot about the battle between the two of them, like how crazy she was or how she would make it so difficult, and I didn't really know. I just thought like, no, you're just being an asshole.
God, that was me.
Like I
was always on her side.
Right, so I was like, see, I was on your side.
Yes, I was too. I would be like, call her back and apologize.
So I would be like, no, and I would be like, you need to, because at that point he was kind of checking out. If that makes sense. Like, he was checking out, and I felt like that was horrible. Like, what father would like check out, and what you have to keep fighting for your child, and she can't be that bad. So again, and he would say, you don't know, you're not here, you have no, and I would be like, you're right, I don't know, but I think that we can fix this. So when I came home from school, I started to get a better outlook of like, oh wow, like, yeah, this is a little bit crazy. Right. Okay, now I see we like just the little things she would do, like, and I would be like, okay, now I can see, and I know his personality, his temper. I can see for him, he can get very easily frustrated, where it could be like he can only take but so much. And then it became a point where I was like, let me sit down and talk to her. Like, let me try. Let me see if it's me. And that was when I was like naive to think like people would really tell you they have a problem with you if you ask them, but they really don't.
They don't.
They'll say it's not you. Why would it be you? It's him. And after a while, I was like, okay, it's me. You just don't like me for no reason. It's just because there's another woman in my child's life. That's why I don't like you. It could be any. I feel like it could be any woman,
reason,
any person. It was just I'm the person you could take the frustration out on. There are women out here who want their child to dislike the other person, like the bonus mom or bonus dad, step, like, and that is so sad that is what you want. because you don't want them to respect that person and you don't want them to show them the love and care.
It's actually stupid.
It's so stupid.
Because
It's like, why would you want your child?
It's like, it's the same thing that you say to yourself about a teacher. I tell this to my husband all the time. Why do you get angry at the person who spends more time with your child during the day than you do? Because this person can ultimately hurt your child.
Right.
Hurt your child and, you know, discipline your child or do something crazy to your child because they're with your child 8 hours of the day.
Right.
Why would you want me to hate want your son to hate me so I can retaliate and take it out on him and hurt him? It doesn't make sense. Did we just tune him out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I'm fine with that. I'm just making sure you're good. My husband's 15 minutes away. But anyway, so for me, with whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. So the thing with me is I'm a woman. And I can read another woman like a closed book. I don't need to. All I need is the title and I know what the book says.
Right.
My husband left his son's mom. It wasn't like she said, I don't want to be with you, and they broke up. Right. So even though she's married, this is my own opinion.
Oh, please let me hear it because this is probably my
I believe that she wants to be with him.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry.
I am like 1,000% convinced.
That is my life. And he doesn't believe it.
He don't believe it.
Don't believe it.
Like, and I think, okay, so this is the thing.
It's probably gonna be in trouble. It's probably gonna be
this
is my personal.
I say it all the time. I don't care.
Yes, all the time. This is my personal opinion. I believe the same as that.
And first of all, the first argument we got, she didn't know this, but we had gotten married before our actual wedding. We, when Justice of the Peace got married.
Okay.
So the whole time on that first argument with her bad mouthing me on Instagram, she just kept saying, "You're not even his wife yet." And I just kept thinking, well, first of all, I was thinking, yes, I am. Right. And then two, I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Like, what is your MO? And there is some level of having been let go by my husband, who is, I mean, I guess he good. He a good guy. Right. He all right. But you had married him, you would have seen the other side. But he's a decent dude. But at the same rate, I can tell that there's like a level of resentment of them not being together, and like I won or something. But to me, it's like, it's still dumb. Like, I just still can't wrap my mind around like how it is. Like, so you mentioned something before, and this is something that that I've learned in the process of being, you know, a stepmom, is that like I can only, how do I want to say this? I can only be as great as the child even allows me to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't like to force myself on him. Right. I don't, you know, okay, so put it this way. My husband, I did the same thing. Like, I would have her back. I would defend my son's mom. I would defend her all the time. And I always have her back, really, still, because I feel like she is the mom. Right. It's still like as a mother. As a mom, I just feel her. Right. I feel her. Right. And then like sometimes she would call me and we would have fine conversations and it would be fine and we would talk about certain things and we would agree. But then like on the flip side, I feel like because now I'm here and we're married and because her son is like 8 or 9, right? Like they more chatty now. Right. So now I know what's going on in their home. Right. She knows what's going on in our home. Right. And I feel like I said, there's this level of perception that she's trying to play out that she think I care about. Right. But I don't give a fuck. Like I don't. This is just. I don't care. Yeah. Like, I don't care what's happening in your marriage. Right. I don't care how you're raising your kids. I don't care what y'all doing on the weekend. I don't care at all. Yeah. Like, sis, like, yeah. No, y'all in your own house, I'm in my own house. Yeah. I don't care what you know about my house. I don't care, because this is my house. This is my life. This is what it is. First of all, I'm an open book. You can see it on Instagram. Right. For me, she's just like, she's a minimal factor. Does she annoy me? Hell yes. Right. You know, like, is she childish? For sure. So a lot of times as an adult, as a 32-year-old woman, I just look at that situation and I'm like, you're just childish.
Right.
And I can move past it, just like
Right.
anybody in my life.
Right.
But when it's in my own home and I have to sit at the table with it, I don't like that.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think that's where, for me, being a stepmom has had its worst part, because it's affecting me in my everyday. The biggest thing, and I tell people, like, because I talk to a lot of women who are single moms and then go to being married to being a stepmom, and the first thing I say to people all the time is, I spent so much time dating my husband, dating him, getting to know him, and not really paying attention to the dad he was.
Right.
And
right.
the baby daddy he was. And I tell my husband this so I can tell y'all, if I had paid more attention to that, I would not have married my husband.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Because our parenting styles
are different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I'm a beater. I'm a yeller.
Oh, I yell.
And my husband will say all the time, "You're an angry black mom."
Yeah.
I don't. It's angry black to you because you had
right,
a happy white mom. So
right.
it's a total different vibe.
Yeah, my kids. I told my husband, I'm like, my kids are gonna know. My son is saying, "Why are you yelling at?" I'm like, "You already know I yell. Why do you even ask me why am I yelling? I yell all day long, and it's just." And then when my husband says I'm yelling, I'm like, "No, I'm not yelling. I know when I'm yelling. Don't say I'm yelling, because I'm not yelling.
I'm not yelling.
Like
there's a level to yelling. There are levels.
I'm talking loudly, but I'm definitely not yelling.
Yes.
But I think you made a good point about for us in my household. What I will say is the thing that has created, I think, a lot of confusion with him and his daughter's mother is because my husband and I are like one when it comes to our situation with her. That I think that she sees it as, or your wife is telling you to do this, or your wife is telling you to do that, or and it's like, no, my husband just has, like, we've come a long way, where I think we both understand that that is what she wants, that, you know, he's not going to just do stuff without telling me, or vice versa, you know. So I think that I haven't necessarily felt unincluded when it comes to that, because I've been the one to support him, because it's been so crazy for him with her, that I've been that constant, like, you know. And I think once I started to see how she was, we kind of got on the same side, like, okay, I can't, now I know what you feel, so I'm now, you're not, it's not like me taking her side the whole time and you're out there, because we got into arguments before about, like, me taking her side, and it's like, no, I'm a mom now, so maybe I do understand a little bit more how it would feel as a mom. For me, I think, like you said, just realizing over the years, and as of recently, I started to just take myself, because I feel like I was getting stressed out about it. I'm like, why am I? What the hell? After a while, I was like, you know what? I don't care. Like, that's what you want to do? No. I really don't care. Because I was stressing myself out, worried about.
Yes, because you're a mom. So that's it. That's
and like a fixer, and I want to fix things, and I want to, and I'm like, after a while, I'm like, hold on. So, what, Janine? Why are you stressing yourself out about their situation?
It, girl. That's the same way I feel like, and so it would be so many. Because as a mom, okay, so like I'm a mom. I did childcare for so long. I also went to school for psychology, focused mostly on child psychology. Right. So like a lot of things I see, I'm like, that's a problem. Right. And it's going to be a problem in 10 years. Right. It might not be like a massive problem now, but if we continue to let this happen, it's going to be major. Right. And it to the point where I would like be in the shower bawling tears, like, oh my God, why are they not seeing this? Why are they not doing? And I was stressed. Right. And like I had to go to my mom, like, she's not a stepmom, but you know, she's my mom. Right. And I would go to her and I would be like, it's eating me alive because they don't see it. And I can't, because there was a point in our marriage where, you know, he would tell me something and he would get offended because I wouldn't agree with what he would say. But because I'm a mom and I'm a woman, I think that's the other part, being a woman. Because when men only view things in the now, whereas women view things now, future, and present. So whatever.
After death, you still think about it.
I look at, like, if you say we're going to get turkey meat today, I'm thinking about, okay, will it last till tomorrow? Will it be, you know what I'm saying? Will we have it for, you know, I'm always planning ahead. Right. So when you tell me something I'm looking at the situation and I'm looking at the future of it. And when you make a decision for him, I'm looking at the future of it. And and I don't agree that this is the best decision, because then we're going to be coming back to the same choice in 5 years being like, dumb choice. So what can we do to fix it? So now you don't like what I'm saying because you're thinking that I'm just not taking your side, or I'm not being supportive of your parenting style. But really it's not that. So I would spend so many times crying and just like, oh my God, no one's helping, no one's stopping this, like nobody's here, you know, for him. And in turn, I'm the only person that sees what's happening, because she's oblivious and it lives in this like fantasy of everything will just be okay, and so is my husband. So it's like, I'm stressed. So now I had to say to myself, do I still stress about certain things? I cringe at the thought of certain things that they decide to do. But at the same time, I'm also like, I gotta let it go.
I finally felt like I can't let this situation ruin my marriage, ruin my relationship with my stepdaughter, because her and I have had, you know, really honest conversations about, like, she's old enough, like she's known for a long time the struggles between her mom and her dad. I would never talk bad about your mom and say she's a horrible person, but we've had conversations about, you know, your mom might just struggle with these type of things, or your mom might, you know, so we've been able to have these conversations for us to not, and I always say, like, no matter what happens between your mom, your dad, your mom and me, you know that you and I are, you know, we're good, you know, and that has been the beauty of the whole chaotic thing, that her and I have always remained solid. I've seen how much stress has cost her to be in the middle of, when I'm with my dad, I gotta do this. When I'm with my mom, I gotta do this. And just not being able to just have a voice.
It's like the hardest thing, because you're the stepmom and you're trying to be that confidant. But then at the same time, you're the parent. And if it's like, okay, they're saying this and doing this, then now I have to go outside of the circle.
It's tough. That's a tough. It's so tough
hard
to be in that.
But I feel like it's just like you said, eventually talking about being a mom, being a wife, and balancing the whole thing with your stepkids. It's the same. It's a juggling act. So you're constantly maneuvering. You're constantly throwing a different ball in the air and like having to catch it. So like, I just think like my biggest takeaway as a stepmom, I think, is to just be constantly evolving, because you're gonna be pulled in different directions, and no one talks about that. Like no one talks about how you're gonna be needed emotionally for one thing, and then there's gonna be times when he doesn't even want you to talk to you at all. And then like you're gonna be able to discipline, but then you're gonna have to pull back. And then, you know, you're gonna be able to be like, sometimes have that moment where you feel like, not like them. Well, yeah, like you feel like you're the mom. As a woman and as a mom already, like, oh my God, like I'm so excited for you. But then realizing that, like, no, I put my hands down and let you have it because you're the mom.
When you're in this blended family and moms and dads and bonus dads and mom, you're almost you're putting yourself before what the child needs and what they desire and what they want, and it's not about the parents. It's about, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that this child is good, that they know that we all love them, you know, no matter how much we fight, that doesn't change how much we love the child. Because I'm sure that as the child, I think for my stepdaughter, I think having been going through this for so long that you almost become numb to it and you just kind of like whatever after a while. I think for her to have a 15-year-old, and as she's getting older, she's doing different things and she's becoming a young woman, I think it is the most important thing, because they're in two different states, and when she's here versus there, I think we should be working together 10 times more, because we want her to be a productive young woman. So why would us two women fight with each other or dislike each other? And I personally I don't dislike her as a person. I dislike her because of how the things she said about me, or the way that she's viewed me. So I don't care for her as a person. She's an awesome mom. I think I've always said, like, she's a great mom. She's also a stay-at-home mom. She has 6 damn kids. I don't even know how you operate with 6 kids. So to be able to do that is, I tip my hat off to her, but I dislike her because of her lack of respect for me as her stepmom and his wife. So I would do anything communication wise to communicate with her for the sake of my stepdaughter. I can personally put my feelings aside for that reason.
So you know what? I feel the same way. I think, and I say this all the time, my blogs, Instagram, Chubb's mom is a phenomenal person. Like I don't have no ill, honestly, I don't like the way that she has handled situations about me. Like you said, I don't like disrespect.
Right.
And I also don't like, I don't like to feel like I'm the bad person.
Right.
And I don't, because I'm ultimately not the person.
Right.
You know what I mean? I only make but so many choices. I only make but so many decisions.
Right.
I only orchestrate things based off what his dad is allowing.
Right.
We need to be on the same page.
Yes.
And we need to have a sit down. And we all need to talk. I don't believe in this fairy tale idea that everybody's going to agree. I'm a huge taker away from agree to disagree.
Right.
You do it that way, we do it this way, and we'll just be fine. It'll work out. But now I see your perspective and you see mine,
right.
And we can. And even if we don't agree in each household, you can still support me in my decision in your house, and I can still support you in my decision in my house. At a certain point in my life, I had to grow up.
Yeah.
Like, so all we need to do is grow up. I think that's the sum of it all. Like, as far as the parents are concerned, a lot of times it's just being able to talk to each other. Because I know a lot of our arguments were based off of, oh, Chubb said this and Chubb said you did this, and it's a miscommunication when we should have just had a conversation about it all together at first. It's all about being able to put differences aside and come to understanding, because neither of us are trying to hurt the child.
Right.
All of us love this kid.
Right. And
that's the foundation of the whole thing.
I think overall that when you sit down and think about, like, we're fighting over what? We're fighting over, we all want the best for this child. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Yes.
Why? Like, when you think about, like, well, why don't you like me? Like, tell me why you don't like me. And it's like, because
there is nothing.
You know, so it's like if those, and that's just in general. And I think this is a thing about the bigger thing for those watching. Like, as women, we have to stop finding reasons to just dislike each other. Or you feel a certain way because you don't have what they have, or you want what they want or what they have. That's not a reason to tear them apart or beat them down.
No, that's a reason to draw closer to that person.
Yes, like
if you want what that person has, then you need to connect with that person.
Right.
Or even if you don't want it, but you just admire that person, like, some people just gleam off of other people.
Right.
Then don't gleam off of me and hate, sis.
Right.
Gleam off of me and love on me, because I'm probably looking for somebody to love on me and say, oh my God, I love what you're doing. I'm going to do the same thing back in return. Right.
You know, I really pride myself on being as honest and speaking from my point of view and my story. As I've said, is not been easy, and she'll be 18 in a couple years, and I don't think it's even like my mother-in-law always says, well, you guys only got a couple years, and I feel like it's probably still going to be this battle of at graduation, like who it just, you know, just that whole
walk her down the aisle,
right? Like it's been so many things of just that, again, that competition that just has to stop. You know, like we just have to stop the competition, stop trying to compete. We can both be amazing moms to this child, love them, give them everything they need. If I can't give it to them,
then
you can. You know, I thank you for your honesty. I think this is a conversation that many people can relate to, and it's not something that you typically hear, or you really get the full side of it until you're really in it. And I think, like I said, for me, I didn't really know how deep it was. Hopefully this, you know, can help inspire or spark some good conversation between parents or trying to resolve some issues. It is not easy. It won't happen overnight. As you can see, we're both a work in progress of trying to get to the other side of it. And I think, like you said, with time, things can get better. it's the bottom line is for the kids. And I think that for me, long as I know that I'm a good person, and I know that my love for my stepdaughter is no different than my own children at this point, I will be fine, you know. And I think at her age now, long as her and I are good, I could really care less about anything else, you know.
And that's what it comes down to.
And that's really the bottom line. So please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you want to comment, like, have questions, I will definitely send them to Erica, and you know, she can give her feedback on anything personal, or you know, it's a touchy topic.
Anything you want, I don't care.
I know it's touchy, and I know it can spark so many. I'm sure this video might pop up a week from now with a phone call to my husband, but it is my truth.
Or me.
You know, so
somebody might be knocking on my door tonight.
But it is my truth, and it is, again, this is not to offend anyone. This is not to paint a picture of anyone being bad people, but to shed light that this is the life that we signed up for. We didn't even know. Like, I did not know that this, like, you know, I had no idea that this would be my life, you know, 11, 12 years later. Right. But it is what it is. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon.